In the absence of radio, television, and the internet, the exchange of information in 1904 was largely through word of mouth. For those living on isolated farms and ranches, their best opportunity to learn about what was going on in the world was to go to town and pick up a newspaper and catch up on the local gossip. Considering that at the end of the 19th century was very much a man's world, what better place for a man to sit back, relax, and catch up on the events of the day than at a barber shop? While the barber gave him a shave and a haircut, a patron would have the opportunity to pick up the local news from his friends and acquaintances, and perhaps learn about what was happening in the rest of the country from an out-of-town visitor. As a result of the railroad and telegraph which accompanied it, news began reaching the country at a much faster rate than it had 50 years earlier. While local issues remained the principal concern, Americans at the beginning of the 20th century were beginning to rethink the role of government, and events like the Spanish-American War, the assassination of President William McKinley in 1901, and the presidency of the Rough Rider, Theodore Roosevelt, were causing them to turn their attention to national and international affairs at an unprecedented level. Events like these would certainly prove to be topics of discussion at the local barbershop, where a few decades earlier the concerns might be limited to the weather, the price of cattle, and who might have moved into town. By 1904, Americans were beginning to realize that they were part of a larger world, and more importantly, were beginning to recognize that they had a part to play in it. The barriers of the frontier were being broken down, and the isolated communities of the prairies were slowly being integrated into the larger nation and world around them.